If you're in the market and you're thinking about refinancing your home, I've seen a lot of people posting to Reddit about this topic recently. And so today we're going to discuss some important considerations about refinancing. I'm going to apply my lens, just give you some transparent, authentic educational information, some things to think about that might go down the rabbit hole, however, designed to benefit you rather than the lender. So come step behind the curtain with me and let's discuss this topic as rates continue to show signs of improvement. So first, we're going to just glaze over points versus no points, some important considerations. What is a free refinance and something that could actually move the needle possibly even more when you're refinancing your home than just the interest rate on the house. Let's first dive in with regards to points versus no points. And I think sometimes this is overlooked. The reason that I think that this is overlooked is that what you got to look at is people like myself are getting paid to help you close loans. Loan officers get paid to help you close a loan. Right now, it's a very popular opinion to not pay points. Why would that matter? Why would a lender be telling you not to pay points versus telling you to pay points? Well, they all say, the Fed's going to do this and then mortgage rates are going to do that. They don't actually know what the Fed is going to do because they've all been wrong for 3 years and they don't know what mortgage rates are going to do. We could all agree that what goes up must come down and what goes down must come up. So mortgage rates really hit their ceiling October 2023, close to 8%. And since that time have been improving. So the likelihood is mortgage rates will continue to improve. And then obviously there's all the economic data in there, unemployment, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, you could say that will continue to happen. So should you pay points? Should you not pay points? Well, as a client of mine and I had a discussion about, he ultimately decided to pay points. And I'm going to tell you why, because this was coming from a financial advisor. That's who this client was. His reasoning behind deciding to pay points was just simply put, I'm just going to prevent myself from needing to refinance again. So what I'm getting at there is have the lender show you the difference of the rate with and without the points. Sometimes it will be a wider spread in the rate you get when you pay the extra discount point, which will save you more money. What I'm getting at in those instances, if you see that happen, is that you will in fact be able to basically short and not need to refinance again when rates, if they do drop further, you didn't pay points. The reasoning behind that is anticipation to refinance again. But if you got to pay those title fees, you got to pay that processing, underwriting, etc., then paying the point now may make more sense because then you're not refinancing again, paying those costs again. Number two, the good old-fashioned free refinance. But let's stop real quick, guys. A free refinance. I don't know any business in this world that operates with no overhead. Zero. In fact, if you know one, comment below. I will buy it because there aren't businesses that have no overhead at all. Even if you said time is a commodity. Therefore, that business has an overhead as well. But as it relates to all the things that go into getting a loan closed, there are costs. What am I getting at with a free refinance? Well, the fact of the matter is, just like the points versus no points, if a lender is steering you towards doing no points and you feel, well, that certainly does make sense. Again, step back from the trees, analyze it. Does it make sense for your financial position? None of us can guarantee rates will continue to go down. If you look at the 50-year data chart on average 30-year fixed mortgage rates, they aren't in the threes. That period of time in our lives was a matter of a few years. Other than that, these mortgage rates are not astronomically high by comparison of historical mortgage rates. So why would I be talking about all this? If you do a loan with no points, you have a loan that has a higher rate than that with discount points. So what's going to happen? If rates come down, you're going to refinance. The lender benefits as well, guys, because you're closing another loan with them. They want you to refinance, whether it's the servicer or another loan officer at someone that solicits you, etc. They want you to refinance. So they keep the door open by you not paying points. So why would they be selling so hard for you to not pay points? Again, you got to compare points, no points. This is a financial decision. There's zero emotion in this decision. This is just numbers. And sometimes paying points versus no points is a no-brainer. Other times it's more of a head scratcher. But what is else also going on in your life? Where are you at in the stage of home ownership in that home? Look, adjustable rate mortgages can have some pretty interesting interest rates if you're thinking about refinancing right now as well. So think about these types of things. Now, those will likely come with a discount point. So plan for a longer term hold, maybe a 7-year ARM if that's the case. If you're a government loan like FHA or VA, those 5-year ARM rates, they're pretty wicked right now. And I have video on both FHA and VA ARMs for your consideration. Let's go back to the free refinance topic, because what the hell does this mean, free refinance? You mean that I'm going to pay for your appraisal? I'm going to pay for your underwriting? I'm going to pay for your title fees? No, it's not going to happen. How it's going to happen is you're going to get a higher interest rate than if you paid those same fees. In fact, we can price out your loan where the underwriting fee is in the rate. Does that make sense? Does it not make sense? Truth of the matter is, again, it's all numbers. This is math. This is not emotion. So when you're looking at that free refinance option, who wins? If you do a free refinance, you say, well, Ray, I win because I didn't pay any closing costs. Yes, but then there's a trade-off, which is that your interest rate is higher. But if you go and have that free refinance opportunity, they're dangling a carrot to come back to them. They will pay those closing costs. But if they pay those closing costs, first, they can't guarantee a free refinance because it might not be available. You might not qualify. Second, if in fact you did do the free refinance, you're going to have a higher rate. So when that happens, does it make sense? Does it not make sense? You may not be thinking about this at that time, because if it doesn't make sense, you'll pay the closing costs and you'll be happy. But the reality of it is both situations, think about who's benefiting there. The lender is. Yes, the right lenders, they may even tell you not to refinance. And I saw somebody post about that on Reddit where they said, this loan officer is telling me to wait and not to refinance. What should I do? Well, it probably means they're trustworthy because they're not trying to convince you to make a bad decision. This is something to take into consideration when you're out there shopping around for lenders. If someone tells you not to, when they get paid for you to close on a loan, that might be someone to keep on speed dial, quite honestly. Then the last thing I want to discuss in this little free form is what might move the needle the most. This all depends on where you're at in the cycle, but your insurance policy right now, we have a client that actually is in a position where they cannot close on a home equity line of credit because their insurance carrier changed their insurance policy to real cost replacement for the roof because the roof is over a certain amount of years old. I have a video here on how to save when shopping for homeowners insurance. If you do go ahead and do a refinance, you can do it right then because the escrows will be closed out on the old loan, opened on the new one. And that is the perfect time because then you're not physically out of pocket the money. And if your insurance is about to renew during the refinance, this is really the time you should be checking this out. Other ways to save money, the deductible. You want to look at things related to your coverage. You want to make sure things are covered, that they're not forcing a deductible that's higher on things like wind and hail to make the policy appear to be cheaper. But your deductible is a place to start because you can save noticeable amounts of money per year on your policy by changing it from say $1,000 to $5,000, possibly $10,000, depending on your financial situation. So why would I be saying that could move the needle more? Well, because simply put, the difference in payment between points and no points might be less than that of having the right insurance policy that fits your financial situation. If you have the capability to have a higher deductible on your insurance policy and pay that potential claim, which really should only be detrimental claims, emergency situations, or avoid filing a claim for something silly that you could potentially pay out of pocket. But this is all just opinion. However, all that to be said, you certainly can look to save more money, and you might take it a step further, because I know this from personal experience that I was able to save more not only on my homeowners, but also on my auto by unbundling. So actually, they are not with the same carrier. And if I would have put them with the same carrier, my auto insurance would have went up. The homeowner's insurance would have went down. Smoke and mirrors. So I unbundled them. The auto is specifically with an auto carrier only. That's what they focus on. Homeowners with a specific carrier. And then my rentals is on a very different carrier altogether, which also then allows for LLCs to be insured on the home. So these are some things I wanted to pass along when you're thinking about refinancing. There are other videos on my channel. If you like this type of honest, deep dive, educational information that's transparent through the lens of a lender that's been doing this for over a few decades now, then make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have someone in your life that's going to be refinancing, share the video. If you have comments or questions related to the refinance or want to challenge my thinking, put it below. Let's have a discussion. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.